Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stuart here from Spain Speaks. Back in the car today. Haven't done one of these videos for a while. I think the last time I was in the car was during the snowstorm, so it's been at least a couple of months. But anyway, back in the car again today. Off to do a bit of shopping, and then maybe if I've got time, I'll go to a nursery, buy a few plants, because as we know, my garden was destroyed in that snowstorm. And we'll have a bit of a chat about what is going on around the country and a few other things as well. So let's go. All right, we'll go along here. We can see that all of these trees along this road have died except for one. Obviously didn't survive the snowstorm and the very cold temperatures that we had. So they're going to have to replace those. But apart from that, everything else seems to be okay. So I don't know what day we're at today. I think it's day 356, coming up to the 1 year anniversary of this pandemic here in Spain. Remember, going back to March last year, the Prime Minister announced, I think it was on the 12th of March or something like that, that he was closing the country down. And that's where we're at, 365 days almost on. And it's a completely different Spain. Here in Madrid at least, the economy has been opened. It hasn't really closed down. Lots of businesses have been able to keep operating. Different in other parts of the country, as we know. I mentioned yesterday that Spain has 17 different ways to deal with a pandemic, and that's what's happening at the moment. A lot of people can't understand that, because if you come from a centralized country like the UK or France, it's probably a little bit different. But here in Spain, of course, with the autonomous community system, 17 autonomous communities, 17 different rules and regulations, and in Madrid, as I said, a lot less restrictive than some other places. For example, Valencia, for example, Castilla-La Mancha, which is the neighboring autonomous community, completely different. But in Madrid, more or less, I'm not going to say it's exactly the same as it was prior to the pandemic, but it's not too bad. People are out and about, people are going about their daily lives and trying to live with this pandemic, which hasn't been easy, let's be honest. Now, there's a lot of talk about what's going to happen at Easter time. Two autonomous communities, Madrid and the Canary Islands, don't want to close their borders, but everybody else does. And I think that's what's going to happen. I don't think it's been announced officially. It might have been, I'm not 100% sure. But I think they have reached some type of an agreement to shut the country down for Easter, which is probably the best thing. You don't want to get these numbers down and then have them go up again, because people were talking about that fourth wave. That's what everybody wants to try to avoid. And if we can keep those numbers down at Easter, maybe, just maybe, there'll be some type of summer recovery. Who knows? If it coincides with an increase in the vaccination plan, if they can manage to get more people vaccinated, start getting some of the key groups vaccinated, I'm sure that we'll start getting back to some type of old normal, let's say, rather than the new normal. Although the wearing of masks, I don't think is going to go anywhere soon. Masks have become a part of our day-to-day in Spain, and obviously people don't want to wear them if they don't have to, but people are used to wearing masks now, not like in Australia. My mother was complaining that she had to wear a mask for a week, and my sister as well, but here in Spain I don't know how they would get on, having to put it on every day, no matter where you go, except when you're at home or in the car, like I am now, for example. Now we'll go for a drive through the industrial area here. We saw last year just how quiet it was when everything was shut down, but this year completely different. There will be lots of activity there, lots of businesses open. And to be honest, in this part of the world, I haven't seen too many businesses close down. It's probably different if you go into the big cities. You go into the center of Madrid, there's probably businesses that have closed. If you go to smaller cities around the country, I imagine that's also a similar scenario, especially when it comes to bars and restaurants and things like that. A lot of them haven't decided to open again, haven't been able to open again because of the restrictions. Shopping centers have been closed around the country, small businesses closing down. That is the reality that we are living at the moment. As you can see on the highway, there's a fair bit of activity. We'll also get a good idea what the situation is like when we get to the supermarket and see how many cars are in the car park. That should be interesting, but I think there's going to be a few, considering that it is Friday. Now we'll just go up here. This is a tricky intersection. Okay, mate, get across. All right, so going past the town hall and going into the industrial area. A lot of activity, as we can see. Go over the speed bumps, lots of them around the place. And here we hit traffic. And I'm unfortunately stuck behind a rubbish truck. So, as I said, the country deciding to close for Easter. A good idea, I think. We don't want people from cities like Madrid or the other big cities like Barcelona traveling all around the country, which is what would normally happen. People would leave this city as they usually do to get that 5-day break, maybe a little bit longer. The kids are off school. People take a week off, go to the beach, go to their pueblo, go to the mountains, escape the city, escape the urban life. And as people that live in Andalusia, Valencia, Alicante know, those are very busy periods when people flood their areas for that Easter week. Saw a few comments from people saying, using the word Madrid idiots, people that go from Madrid down to those places and obviously take up all of the spaces in bars and restaurants and flood the beaches, crowd the beaches, and people get a little bit sick of people from this city going there. But that's the way the country works. Probably happens in other countries as well. I'm sure that if you live in Brighton, a lot of people from London travel down there at the weekends or at holiday times. And of course, it's no different here. All of the major highways leading out of the city are completely jammed whenever there's a long weekend or a holiday. But as we know, places are going to be closed, and the idea is to keep people in. Maybe people from Madrid will go to the Canary Islands. That's a possibility. Hop on a plane, couple of hours, and bang, you are there in Tenerife or Gran Canaria, maybe Lanzarote as well, Fuerteventura. The Canary Islands want to stay open, so it could be a good match. People from Madrid and people from the Canaries spending the week together for Easter. That's why we're stuck here. All right, let's see if we can get through the traffic light. Still stuck behind the rubbish truck. This is unbelievable. People at the bank, people out and about. Business as normal in Madrid. Don't know what it's like in the other places around the country. I'm sure there is a little bit of activity. But I'm sure people are surprised to see just so many people out and about. So that's been the policy of the Madrid government, to try to reactivate the economy, keep things open. As I have said in various videos, the president here is a bit of a maverick. The premier, if you want to call her that, Ms. Díaz Ayuso. She does the opposite of what other places are doing. Doesn't matter whether they belong to the same political party or not, whether they belong to a different ideology. She does her own thing. Time will tell if it's correct. Who knows at this stage? But all I know here is that people have been able to work, and people have been able to more or less go about their day to day. Schools haven't been stopped. Well, that's similar around the whole country. But when it comes to keeping bars and restaurants open, Madrid has been one of the only places to be able to do that constantly. There's been curfews in place, of course, but it hasn't really affected the day-to-day or the running of those places. So that's positive. All right, so I'm just going to go and do the shopping, and I'll finish the video when I come back. Okay, back in the car, shopping done and dusted. I was going to go to the nursery, but I have to go home because I've just realized that I've left my credit card somewhere. Haven't got it on me. Had to pay for the shopping in cash, which is a bit unusual for me because I normally pay for everything with a credit card. So off home now to find that card, and hopefully it's not lost. So off we go. So a quick roundup of how the country is going at the moment. And let's be honest, the country is in a shambles, both politically and economically at the moment. The economy, terrible. The European aid, I don't know whether that's getting through or not. There's lots of talk about it, but I'm not sure if there's any action plan in place. The government is terrible at the moment, and it's a shame that Spain has to go through the same situation with a useless government in a similar way to what happened back in 2008 when the financial crisis hit and we had Mr. Rodriguez Zapatero in power. And today we have a similar type of government, let's be honest, socialist Podemos coalition. And wow, what they're doing at the moment is laughable. They can't agree on anything, even simple policies about where they should be spending money. That's the situation that we are in at the moment. The worst crisis to hit Spain in a long, long time. And we have this government running us at the moment. People in this country voted for these politicians. They voted for this government. And the other factor that we have at the moment is that the opposition is also missing. We know that their territory is getting eaten up by Vox. And I don't know whether they're worried about that and they just prefer to keep quiet. But we don't hear much. So there's really no alternatives at the moment for what's going on in this country. Terrible financial situation, terrible political situation, and we just don't have the leaders in place to deal with the situation, unfortunately. So that's where we're at in Spain at the moment. March 2021, almost 1 year on since the pandemic hit, and this is the reality. What can we do? On that note, I'm going to wrap the video up. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. Debate the situation out as you normally do. Give us your opinion if you're living in Spain on how you think things are going. If you're living outside Spain, let us know how things are going in your country. If things are better, if things are worse than they are here. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego.